Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you as always for joining us. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew Don't Get It Twisted Lapachet, and this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you once more for joining us. All right, well. It is Sunday evening, the 22nd of December, and we are 24 hours away, or removed, I should say, from the rematch of the year. Alexander Usyk defending his heavyweight championship against Tyson Fury, and that is probably going to be one of the hot topics. I mean, it already is, right? There's a lot of side stories, and one of the many things that we're going to be going over, and we're definitely going to, and we intend to kick off the show with that specific topic because we got plenty to talk about there. In addition to other things we like to cover, Top Rank's eventual removal, I guess moving to the zone. That will happen sometime later, I think summer of 2025. We're going to get into those details shortly, amongst other things coming up, fights coming up in 2025 that we will definitely get into. But before we get into all those great stories and juicy stories, because they most definitely are that, Andrew, what's happening, dude? How you doing?
I'm about 80%, Miguel. You already know, but I was battling the flu this week. I've been laying it down. I wanted to do the play-by-play on the fight. Didn't happen because I was sweating. I had a blanket probably on me as I was watching. Yeah, so my son was upset. He wanted to do it too. But yeah, we got through it. We got through it. The greatest heavyweight of this era, we now know who he is, was not who I thought it was going to be. The big three all failed. It was supposed to be Wilder. It was supposed to be AJ. It was supposed to be Fury. Womp, womp, womp. Come on. Come on. No, it was a great fight. It's a great fight. So I'm doing better today. Hopefully by the end of the show, I'll be 90 or 100%.
Yes, exactly. Because some of the topics that we're going to touch on, I'm anticipating you're going to be like, no, what the fuck? Right. And then it's like, oh, there we go. We got him back, folks. He's back. But yeah, it sucks that you're kind of under the weather. I did kind of like wake up with a little bit of a, kind of like a dry throat. Pretty mild, though. And more often than not, when I come across something like that, I'm like, let me go ahead and take some Dayquil or whatever to kind of nip it in the bud before it gets any worse, because we're a few days away from Christmas 2024. And then a week later, New Year's. So there's been a couple of occasions where I've gotten sick before New Year's and I couldn't go out and party. There have been some times where I had to work the day after. Which sucked. Well, I should say the day after, the day of, like New Year's Day, I had to work, so I couldn't party too hard. And then when the time came that I was off that day, I got fucking sick. So I was like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So every time, it comes up, I'm like, let me just make sure I don't get sick, because I do have the day off. So I got to go party, go down to the strip, because we like to do that shit. And I definitely anticipate, doing that and trying to stay as healthy as I can. So the second I feel like, a little runny nose or whatever, I'm like, no, fuck this. NyQuil, Benadryl, I don't give a rat's ass. I'm about to take all that stuff to make sure that, and then a little bit of tea, hot tea, right, kind of thing like that. So I'm making sure that I take care of myself. So please, you do the same. Make sure that you go through your Christmas and New Year's, and everybody. Make sure everybody, wishing everybody a nice and healthy end of the year and beginning of the new year. So let's go ahead and kick off this show, second to the last of the year, with the results of the highly anticipated rematch for the, I can't say the undisputed heavyweight championship because Dubois has the IBF belt, but who gives a fuck? We know that these two are the top guys in the weight class. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, the rematch, highly anticipated rematch taking place in Saudi Arabia last Saturday, or Saturday afternoon, at least for Pacific Standard Time people like myself. I still have a bone to pick with the zone. You cannot stream on two different devices if you pay for the pay-per-view. What the fuck? I don't like that shit. I would like for there to be some sort of something, like
it should mirror the whole house. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like regular DAZN. You can log in 3 devices, I think, tops. Okay, 3 is good. I can do with that. But the fact that I can't do that with 2 when it comes to pay-per-view, because it has happened before, thankfully, we figured it out. Kind of done.
Or like regular pay-per-view, bro. Remember pay-per-view back in the day? You could watch it in the room. No, that isn't cool at all.
The zone, you got to get on top of that, please, Jesus. But yes, as everybody already knows, Alexander Usyk kept his undefeated record intact and defended the heavyweight championship, the unified and lineal heavyweight championship of the world. There was no doubt this time. We talked about some of the mistakes that Tyson Fury made before, goofing off in the ring and so forth, maybe giving up a round or two before. He came in hella serious this time, and
Yes,
it
he
seems
did.
like the scorecards were even worse for him, for Christ's sake. But it looked like he came in ready. Um, the scorecards, we can start off there, right? Alexander got the victory. At the end of the day, the right guy won, so we're cool with that. But um, there's a lot of people that have a lot of, they have a pretty strong opinion about the scorecard. I actually had it exactly the same. I did have it 116, 112. And Andrew, did you score? Did you end up scoring it yourself?
I stopped probably in round 9. I had it a draw when I stopped. So probably round 8 going into 9 is when I
Okay.
stopped. So I really thought, let's just say whatever they would have gave me last night, I would have been okay with. Honestly, 116, 112 seems too far for me. That, or was it? Yeah,
Yeah,
116,
yeah,
112.
116, 112. Yeah.
The AI card, throw AI
Oh,
out the fuck.
yeah.
Throw
We'll get into that shortly, but for now, yeah.
AI out the window if that's what they're going to be judging,
Mhm.
because it's A, and we'll get back to that. But I had it a lot closer, Miguel, than 116, 112.
Which, by
I'm
the
gonna
way,
have,
is 8 rounds to 4.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, Tyson did a lot of great boxing. Everyone's talking about the little man, and that's one thing that I hope people don't give too much credit, because the little guy fought the big guy. And even in this fight, it was even bigger because he
Yes.
comes in at 280. So now it's like, oh, wow. Now he fought. So, but what about the big guy moving the way he did last night? Boxing, the counters, the setups. Dude, he had something for Usyk's jumping
Mhm.
around. He was setting him up with that left hook. He was catching him with that left hook a lot. Then Usyk throws his flurries. I know builds up points every time he did that, and kind of Tyson would just do his little head movement, but take a lot of the punches right off the head. Miguel, if they would have said draw, if they would have said Fury, if they say Usyk, I'm okay with all three. Don't know if I want to watch it a third time though. I would
Mhm.
have told you that tonight too, because I think the third fight's gonna be boring as fuck. This fight, we're counting punches. This is not a balls to the walls fight. We're
Sure.
counting punches. We're counting points in this one. What do you think number 3 is gonna be? Number
Yeah.
3 is gonna be a straight chess match. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
it's gonna be Marquez Pacquiao 3, if you guys remember that one. It was like
yes.
very few punches thrown, very technical, and they use this example all the time. Boxing is just like jazz. I think George Foreman said it. The better it is, the fewer people like it. So if they do it a third
Hey, that's a
time,
good one.
yeah, right. I think
That's
that's
a
what I
good one.
remember hearing George Foreman say that. So yeah, if we do get a third one, which hopefully we don't, it'll be less action even.
Yeah. So I don't want to see a third one. Unless they would have built it up and let Tyson win this one, then yeah, nothing you can do about it. But because Tyson lost, sorry Tyson, you gotta go back of the line. At least two fighters back. Get another big win. I love the setup that they have, and we'll get into Tyson's future. But so I'm okay with either way they go. I didn't like the scorecards. I thought they disrespected Tyson with those cards when the man fought his ass off and doesn't mess around, didn't clown around, took this fight real serious, and they, like you said, gave him less rounds. It's like, what? So, um, it was a great fight for. Please hold, dude. Someone's at the
All right.
door. Please hold.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead
no
and
problem.
tell him more about the
Yes,
fight.
I will definitely tell him about it. All right, so basically, I had it a pretty much a clean sweep for Usyk the second half of the fight. I believe that the extra weight actually hurt Tyson. I think that he came in heavy because he was anticipating that he was going to be able to lay on Usyk, get him tired, maybe grab him a bit because if you guys remember, towards the latter half of the fight, Tyson was doing a lot of clinching. I mean, a lot of fucking clinching. Some of it was pretty strategic though. He would unload his shots and then wrap Usyk up to make sure that Usyk doesn't respond with his own punches. So I guess he can kind of get away with it a little bit. I think he was doing too much of it. I don't think that the referee. I kind of credit the referee here. I'll give credit to the referee because the referee tried to stay out. There's a lot of referees that do have that habit of making it about them, essentially. And this one, it seemed like he tried to stay out of it, but I would have liked for him to have given Tyson some sort of warning for so much clinching. So, Andrew, this is what I was saying here before you got back, that I think the weight possibly affected Fury that latter half of the fight, because I'm gonna try to paint this picture for you. You were saying that you were at around the 8th or 9th round where you had it a draw, right?
Right.
So
Right.
let's just say it's the 8th round. That's 4 rounds apiece, right? So
Yes.
really, at that point, 9, 10, 11, 12, the last 4 rounds, on the scorecards and maybe my scorecards as well, Usyk basically swept it from that point, which is why Tyson only had 4 rounds. So that doesn't seem too out of the ordinary, or I guess too one-sided. It became that, of course, but if it was a draw going into the 9th, there's those 4 rounds already for Tyson, and I think the weight kind of did him a disservice here, because I figured he was going to come in heavier to try to lay on Usyk, which he did the second half of the fight. But I think he got tired. I think that's one of the reasons why he was less active, and one of the reasons why on many scorecards, including mine, Usyk basically swept the final rounds. So I think that he didn't do what he was attempting to do, what he did with guys like Klitschko and Wilder, where he used his size, where he used his weight, where he tried to get him tired. He didn't do it seemed as though whatever clinching he was trying to do, it was because he was tired.
And that's possible. Look, the only reason why I stopped judging the fight is because we were counting way too many punches. Like, it was so close, Miguel. It was like, I'll just let them deal with this, because to me, I mean, what we're looking at, 1 or 2 power shots in the first 3 rounds, right? It was like, oh, he landed a great right hand. That was the punch of the round. What? 1 punch? It was a very technical fight that I knew, it was just like, I'll let the judges deal with this one. So that's why I stopped judging the last few rounds. I don't agree with Tyson got swept in the last 4. I'll have to watch him over, but I don't agree with that. I thought he won the last round. I literally thought he won round 12. So that's why I didn't like the scorecards. I seen on the scorecards, they had him winning like round 6 to 12, dude. All of them 10, all the way for Usyk. I was like, bullshit. I screamed bullshit on that one.
Yeah.
And then when I seen AI scorecard, that's when my brain started worrying, like, all right, why do they hate Tyson Fury so much? What the fuck did this man do that he just went there and got, leveled 7 rounds in a row? Come on. There's no way, bro. So, and I seen on the internet, there are other people out there that are saying this fight closer, tight. Listen, you see Tyson Fury fans speaking up, but not arguing. And that's the boat that I'm in. Like, I got to tell you that I don't like the decision, but I also won't sit here and argue it. Now, if we bring up De La Hoya Trinidad, if we bring up Chavez Whitaker, I'll argue with you for 24 fucking hours. Matter of fact.
De La Hoya Floyd too? De La Hoya Floyd?
Yeah. Hey, De La Hoya Floyd won. Yeah. We'll go get the fight, turn it on. We'll go round for round. You know that?
Here's a notepad. Here's a fucking pen.
Yeah.
Let's mute this bitch.
You give me the rounds, and I will go watch them. That you give me the 8 rounds you think he won, and I'll go rewatch. Yes, I'll totally. This fight, nah, it's not. It's not. I got to bring that up too. Gypsies don't travel, it seems like, because Tyson Fury, for being as big as he is in the UK, had no fan base out there. Did you hear the screams for the Ukrainian when they announced him?
I don't think I did. I mean, mind you, me and my dad are over here fucking yelling, so I probably weren't listening to it. But yeah.
Yeah, check for that next time. And I don't know if that affected Fury in those later rounds where they're only counting punches and you got the crowd only screaming for one guy. And I started thinking, I'm like, well, what the fuck? He's from the UK. oh, wait a minute, he's a gypsy. That's
But isn't
something.
that I thought that's what a gypsy does? Isn't a gypsy travel? I thought that's exactly what the fuck a gypsy does.
No, they have no home. There's no right.
Okay, all right.
So maybe the UK, they like watching him if he's fighting in London or somewhere over there, but
Mm,
going to Saudi Arabia for that guy? Fuck no, he's a gypsy.
mm.
You see what
Well,
I'm saying? It
yeah.
just seems like I thought it was weird that Tyson Fury, one, I know that he's very out there, outspoken, so a lot of people in Saudi Arabia aren't going to like him, right? He doesn't mesh with them very good. The song that he came out with put them in a bad attitude. I'm dead serious. What I Want for Christmas in a Muslim country, that is not the song you want to come walking out to with His Excellency. I don't know if the is it the Saudi prince or is he a king? The king is in the building. I don't know if he's in the building. Like, come on, bro, wrong song. Read the room,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Who gave you the green light for that, fool?
Yeah,
Come on
who
now.
gave you the green light? So he just didn't seem like he had a lot of fans out there cheering when they announced his name and during the fight. Usyk, they were saying Usyk. You heard the crowd saying it.
Yeah.
But Usyk, I believe, is Christian too, correct?
I think so. I mean,
I
some
think
branch
so.
of it. Yeah. I mean, he did have um the cross. Well, actually, hold on. Before we get into that, because I do have a quick thing. I looked at the AI scoring, right?
Okay.
The AI scoring had 118, 112, which is basically, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
looking
they
at
had
it right now.
draws. Yeah,
They
yeah,
had
they had
10
draws.
rounds. What the fuck was
Yes.
that? The first round and the 12th round with 10-10s. A little too generous with the fucking 10-10 rounds there, AI. What the hell is that about? So I don't know.
Miguel,
Weird,
I'm
dude.
telling you, bro. Hey, I'll give AI that. He was counting punches, dude. He's like, what do you want me to do? You land one, you land one. Fuck you guys. You're tied. Let's move on to the. No, hey, you know what? There was many rounds, bro, where I'm telling you, I was thinking of doing the same thing. I know you can't. I know you're not supposed to, but it was like, bro, he landed a body shot and he landed a left hand. What are we supposed to do with this? In round one, they literally. Go ahead.
And
Sorry.
I just no, I don't think AI can engage, because here's the thing. I tried to do that, but I do my damnedest to not give 10-10s. I see
Right.
I see one dude land a body shot. I see one dude land a headshot. I think, well, which one did more damage? That's the only way I can lean. It's like, fuck, you know
Right.
what? That body shot really fucked Usyk up. I have to give that one, even though, Fury got, hit and whatever the hell. I'm like, all right, I think the body shot did actually more damage. I have to give it to Fury then. So I don't think AI can gauge that. It just punches great, but really beyond that, they can't tell if I give you one hard punch that cuts you in the fucking open, and I give you, and you give me 10, little pity pat shots. Well, you got 10 shots. Did you really win the round? Because you're fucking like wiping blood from everything. You know what I'm saying?
You're
So
totally on it.
that damage part, I don't think it can gauge.
It
So
can't.
yeah, I
It
can't, right?
can't.
That's what I'm thinking. And the only people that can are at least people watching it, actual judges. You know what I'm saying?
It
Um,
can't gauge that. It can't gauge defense, right? Can it
uh,
really look, or is it just going off numbers? Did
yeah.
they program a robot to watch this fight, or are they just going off CompuBox? We need to know what AI is doing here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
What criteria? Ring generalship? Are they even? Is that something that they're able to gauge? Can
Right.
they recognize that? Is that
Right.
advanced?
Like
How advanced that technology is, or not?
if one guy is only throwing, let's say, basic combos, and the other guy is fucking using the ring, using his head movement, catching on. That's that ring generalship, I guess, what you're talking about. How is AI supposed to gauge that being a robot?
Hmm.
So, because even if you program it, say, oh no, we gave it all these fights to put in its head and it will do it on its own. I don't like it. I don't like that because what if you put too many of Pernell Whitaker in him?
Hmm.
Now he's only looking for guys like Pernell Whitaker. That's gonna hurt our sport. Sorry to all you Pernell fans, but it's gonna hurt this.
Yeah.
Or Floyd, you know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
guy that
Yeah.
just runs. Just run, don't get hit. AI will make you the winner. What?
Yeah. Just a
Land
couple of
two
jabs here and
jabs
there.
and start
Yeah.
running. Yeah. No, so yeah, they really need to break down how much this AI. And matter of fact, he failed so big on the first one. You might just want to, like, for football, it's easy because you have replays. You can go, the computer can look at a replay and determine if it was good or not. They have electrical lines you could put on the field if the guy crosses it with the ball. There's ways AI can help that sport, right?
Mm.
In baseball, they have a fucking invincible strike zone. They know
Okay.
every pitch nowadays. You don't need an umpire. You don't need an umpire. You just need someone in the back, a scoreboard on the back that shows strikes and balls or whatever. You know what I mean? But you
Mm.
don't really need the umpire judging anymore. They keep them in there. They keep them in there to have the upper hand. I get all that. Boxing's way different. Boxing's not black. How do they say it? Black and white? There's a lot of gray in boxing, right? When you're what you're talking about, ring generalship, defense, punches, all that. So a lot harder to bring AI into this sport. So yeah, I hope they His Excellency gives that a few more fights, maybe tells us a little bit more about how AI works before we bring this um, even more into boxing than what it already is. I don't know if he's planning for it to take over the judging or if it's just a gimmick to make your controversial decision a little better. Like, hey, look, AI had it way for the other guy.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
did good if he had it that, but you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah, and it was pretty close to it. I mean, minus if you take away those like 2 10-10 rounds, the score was relatively close to what ultimately it was 116 112. So let's go ahead and jump into what we were going to talk about before we started going into the AI is first off the beard. There's a lot of controversy going into the fight in regards to Tyson trimming the beard because of it potentially cushioning any of the punches. Right, that usually is the argument against it. I myself, many years ago, had an exhibition fight that needed to be like okayed by USA Boxing. I show up to the weigh-in with a mustache, and they're like, "This guy's got to go." I'm like, "What's just a fucking mustache? It's a pencil. I can barely grow a beard, people. This is nothing." Like, no, it's got to go. Like,
Right.
I am a nobody, and some USA Boxing is telling me you got to shave the fucking shit. So first off, I go start. Let's start with your opinion on that. Um, I read that he was supposed to trim it. He comes into the ring, doesn't look trimmed at all.
You know, that happened a few years ago. I forgot what sport it was that they started complaining about. Um, it was religious reasons why they needed their hair to be long. It was, and that's for the beard. It was how do you say it when it's your culture to have
Okay.
braids, right? You can't cut I don't want to cut these. I've been growing them since I was little. Stuff like this, right? And finally, sports made the change. You know, you don't want to sound racist. You don't want to sound like you're making someone go against his beliefs. So they kind of bent the rules for the hair. I don't like it. You know, I think if you're gonna make $1 million, you should do the things that are on the contract or in the rule book. You know what I'm saying? If that was in the rules, then maybe you need a new profession. If your religion doesn't allow you to cut your hair, well, then maybe boxing isn't for you, right? If
Mm,
there's a blind person that wants to box, we don't bend the rules for them,
mm.
right? We go, nah, dude, you're blind. Sorry. But you can change that when it's a beard. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
it'll
get.
grow. It'll grow
We're
back.
too close to get to Christmas to start knocking religions, but
Well,
but
let's go ahead and knock it because
oh
there's
shoot,
another topic of regards to number one. You mentioned it earlier. One Tyson Fury coming into the ring to Mariah Carey's "All I Want for
yeah,
Christmas" first and
yeah,
foremost, right? Then
so
was
loud, Miguel.
yeah, it was
That music,
blasting.
it was
Yes.
blasting. Could you
But
imagine
also,
the crowd?
oh
They're
shit.
like,
Can you? Yeah. Right. They're like, what did she say? What? All I want for what? What's the lyrics? Oh shit! Wouldn't that be crazy to have the lyrics up on the fucking like a karaoke machine on the big screen? Like, oh, that really Christmas. Huh? But also in addition to that, Usyk with his cross. We've read a couple of things, couple of different things, and I want to touch on this because number one, he supposedly was told that he couldn't wear it. Period. Well, he comes out with it. There was another report talking about how he couldn't kiss it. I don't remember seeing him kiss it, but um, if you can, where was the one that you had sent me in regards to that? There's this one. First off, the one about the wearing it. According to No Smoke Boxing, that's I guess a Twitter or Instagram, Usyk was told before the fight that he couldn't have his religious cross in the ring tonight. He wore it anyway. Okay, so that's one of the things. Let me see if I can pull up the other one that you sent me. because it involves him. It says, oh, shit, right here. Oh, it says, we just cut through it all. This is Frank Warren, a quote from Frank Warren. We just cut through it all. If there's anything that is used other than water that goes on the fighter's lips, then the inspector will take it away and hold it. If anything is seen to be not correct, then they'll deal with it. They'll test it, whatever that may be, whatever they have to do. So anything nearing his lips, which there's actually an image of him kissing it, but that's from a previous fight because he has hair in this one. He's actually shaven in the recent fight. So I guess he brought it, but he didn't kiss it because, and you mentioned this, we were talking about it before the show. So go ahead and bring up your point about what excuse they're trying to use with the kissing of the cross, or anything for that matter, anything to his lips.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, that was a loophole they used to get him to not show his support for his Christianity beliefs, right? If you kiss the cross, we'll take it from you and test it. Test it for what? What are they saying? He was going to put some kind of supplement on the cross? What was that movie? Do you remember that movie where that girl had freaking cocaine in her? She was Christina would know it. She loves that movie. That's happened in a movie. A girl had dope in her cross. It was weird. You don't remember that one? No, oh man, there was a movie like that.
Is it a chick flick?
Yeah, it's a chick. That's why my wife knows it. Yeah, she would know it. But that's happened before. But is that what they were saying Usyk's doing with his cross?
I mean, it would have to be. They're implying, right? That's what they're implying. At least, like, we don't even trust you to even kiss that damn cross.
Yeah.
That's
is it just showing a sign of your religious beliefs, and they're like to that too?
Mm-hmm. Or that, right? Because that's kind of the thing, and that's one of the things that we had talked about before this fight is you brought it up, and I don't want to take the point away from you, but
no, it's fine.
No John Fury, right? No Dad, and they're leading up to the fight. I mean, they never pointed the camera over to him unless I completely missed it, which is very possible. Maybe he was there, and
no, I never seen him.
I didn't see him. I pretty much watched the majority of the pay-per-view. And oh, by the way, again, a pay-per-view that was not $20, Mr. Turkey. But regardless, I ended up paying for it because I wanted to watch it. And I have it here playing in the background because I like to watch it while I'm on the show as well. But
nice.
So that's kind of weird, right? Like, a couple of things here and there. They were like, all right, well, Usyk, no cross. He brings the cross. Tyson comes with Mariah Carey blasting through the speakers. We did think initially, like, yeah, are they going to try to force maybe a third one and lean towards Tyson? We've heard a lot of support from Turkey to Tyson. So we're like, hold on a second. This is a little sketch. This is a conflict of interest. You can't be supporting. You're funding this thing, but you can't be fucking supporting it. There's something that I want to touch in about later on because it's one of the other topics. But that's kind of weird, huh? They're like really like cracking down on like, no, no religious shit here.
We talked about this, and I'm going to bring it up again because I think we all have some learning to do with this. Growing pains, I guess you would say, with this country.
Long learning curve.
Yeah. They don't play around, Miguel, when it comes to their religion. You're punishable by death.
The Saudis are Saudis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They don't. You can't even have. There's not even a non-Muslim church out there.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I believe there's gonna be a time where they will put their foot down and say enough is enough. Why would they allow a man to play Merry Christmas when they don't allow it on the streets? Why would they allow a man to kiss a cross in the ring when they don't allow it in the streets? Right? You've seen His Excellency. He seems like a guy that it's his way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, last night Miguel was kind of thinking that Fury just ain't right for this company. Yeah, they'll work with them if he wants to come back, make some money. But for them to make you the face of Riyadh season, the undisputed champion of Riyadh season, fuck you. You come to my place, I tell you not what to do, and you don't do any of it. We tell you to cut your beard, you don't cut your beard. We tell you we don't like the Christmas music, you come in with a fucking Christmas song with her saying fucking Christmas I don't know how many times.
Yeah. They probably don't even like Mariah Carey, but you come in listening to her anyway? No.
His dad, I think, is another reason, right? They don't want him out there. his dad's obnoxious. I've even gotten over his father. His father was cool in the beginning. Now he's just a sideshow like his
He's a
son.
loose cannon. He's a loose
Yeah.
fucking cannon, dude. It's like
Yeah.
he's a liability. You don't know what the shit he's gonna do. And I think, they said, hey, him or no, fuck out of there. Like, we're not gonna do this shit again, right? And we mentioned it earlier with him headbutting that fucking the kid or whatever, and
Yeah.
then him doing that at a later time as well. I think at some point, before this
Dude,
fight, they
he
came to an agreement.
tossed the table before. He's taken
Oh
off
yeah,
his shirts and tried to fight the camp of the other guys. Like, the guy's a knucklehead. I don't think His Excellency wants him. You think he's gonna have dinner with a person like that? You have Usyk. Yes, Usyk kisses across, but you know what? He's humble, right? He's a quiet man. He's carrying his daughter's donkey. What is it? What is that?
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the
Or
Pooh?
something. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
Eeyore.
yeah,
Thunder. I think that's what it is, right? That his daughter gave him. I mean, come
yeah. Come on, this guy goes straight home after he's done with the fight.
on.
Where the
Right.
Furies, well, maybe Tyson goes home, but his dad and his brother and them probably aren't. They got to watch them a little bit closer than Usyk's count. So I'm sorry, Tyson, but I think that played a little into your scoring last night too. And I think Tyson knows it. You heard what he was
Mm.
saying. I thought I got Larry homed here. Thought I won more than 4 rounds, which I do too. I really thought the guy won more than 4 rounds. You want to give him a 1 point fight? I would have been like, dude, it's a great fight. Whatever. If someone won, that's fine.
Well, so he says he could definitely, in his opinion, he did not just win 4 rounds. He won more. He's thinking he won. That means that there are at least 3 more rounds that needed to go his way to take the win by 1 point. You can find 3 more rounds after
Well, I
that to
told you I
get.
thought he won round 12. Off the
Okay.
top, I thought he wins round 12. So that's 1 round right there. I would have to go back and watch the next 3. But like I said, it's a very close fight, Miguel. It's one where they're counting punches. I think that's another reason I'm going to fall back to why AI had 2 of those rounds 10-10. Because guess what? Nothing fucking happened. That's what AI said. You guys both sucked in this round. You guys are fucking playing chess here. 10-10 for both of you. I kind of like that about AI. Don't know if I like anything else, but at least he was honest. When you guys aren't doing nothing, no one wins that round. So, you know, it's it's it was a good fight. And I don't even think the scorecards didn't make me. I'm not mad over the loss for Tyson. Um, but I did think it was closer than that. I thought it was closer than that. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. And I think I called it a draw. Because I went, that's what I was looking at my phone right now. When I was talking to someone who didn't buy the fight, one of my good friends who didn't buy the fight. I kind of did a play-by-play for him, and at the very end of the fight, I tell him I think it's a draw. And then when I get the scorecards, I recorded it for him. He goes, "That wasn't even close." I go, "Yeah, I know. I guess they didn't see any close rounds." Because it doesn't seem close. I'm over here telling him it's close, it's close, it's close. Fucking scorecards, 116, 112. Dude,
Well,
and then all
it's
three,
close.
and then all
Oh yeah,
three.
that's right. All 3 judges had it that same way.
When do you get a score where 3 judges on all sides of the ring come with fucking the same scorecard? It's just
Well,
Tyson.
I don't think they gave Tyson the same rounds, the same number of rounds, but I don't know if they gave him the same rounds. Period. Like,
Oh, I thought
if
all
they,
of them had round 6 to 12. I
oh,
have
was
it.
it? Was it?
Yeah,
Shit.
dude, it's
Damn.
like really fishy, bro.
Because
Like,
Frank Warren was in the ring being interviewed by whomever the fuck it was afterwards on DAZN, and he's like, he's kind of was arguing his side, saying like, there's no fucking way he only won 4 rounds, and he's like, there's different rounds, but it doesn't matter, it's still 4. So he kind of mouthed that off. Really, he didn't really say it clearly into the mic. So maybe I misheard, but you're saying that from the 6th and on, according to the scorecards, it was a clean sweep for Usyk.
yes, I got him right here. I'm gonna look at it real fast here. So when I look at Fury, hey, this one gave him the 12th round. Told you he won the 12th round, boy. Oh, that doesn't help my argument. Oh, that means that judge gave him the 12th. Damn it. But they gave him round 6 to round 11. They gave him round 6 to round 12. They give him round 6. They don't give him round 9. So he basically wins 5 of the last 6 on 2 of the scorecards and then 6 on the other scorecard. Damn, I didn't see that. I don't see it a wipeout like that. That's whatever.
Do you think, in your opinion, that the weight mattered? Because the way I saw it, because I saw the side by sides, he was he was like, what was it, 19 pounds heavier basically. So it was like 260 something, and then 281 or something like that.
Yeah.
263 or something. Anyway, so 19 pounds heavier. That's an extra 19 pounds that you have to move over when you need to. And with a guy that was already as big as he is, um, do you think that played a role? Why he got swept for, at least on the scorecards, at least for the majority of the last rounds?
It could have been. And to be honest with you, I don't know why he did it, because he didn't even use it. He didn't even use it, bro. I thought he was gonna bend Usyk over the ropes, like, with the back. When you take their back out, you're trying to hurt them. You're trying to pull a muscle. I thought he was gonna lean all over this guy. When you lean forward, fucking slam all your weight on his back, drop him to the canvas. He doesn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. So I don't even know why he came out at 281. Oh, I thought he was gonna maul the shit out of him when he came in that heavy. I was like, well, Tyson isn't being fair today. He's not. He's just gonna be big and fucking fuck this dude up. You know what I'm saying? Because, dude, he was having a great time in the first fight. In the first fight, Tyson's landing his shots. He's got everything going for him until round 8 or 9. In this one, he has the same fight, but he doesn't use the weight like I thought he was. And, coming in the heaviest at 37, 38 years old probably wasn't a great idea. You know what I mean? And then not to use it is like, well, why'd you even do it? I can't say that he wasn't disciplined, though, or like he didn't train, because the dude he boxed his ass off. Tyson did a lot of good things. The right hand of the body, he didn't do enough of it. It was a great shot, but he didn't do enough of it. Should have been laying into that thing for the first 6 rounds.
That was actually my next question about you. The next question I wanted to ask you is, because they looked pretty effective, at least early on, because they were landing. Right, they were hella landing, and at some point, me and my dad were like, "It seems as though it's like the body shots for Tyson and the head shots for Usyk. It almost looked like Usyk's punches on top were hurting Tyson more than his head shots were. But when it comes to the body, it was all Tyson. It seemed like that's one of the reasons why I think he got tired, because number one, he stopped throwing the body shots as much, and number two, he started clinching a lot more towards the latter half of that fight. So I think the 19 pounds affected him. But where the hell did the body shots go at the end of the fight?
Yeah, no, there's some big flaws in the game plan there. I don't understand what the extra weight was for either when they didn't use it. You know what I mean? I gotta say, his trainer. What's his trainer's name? Manny's nephew.
Sugar.
There you go. Hey, he sounds like his Stewart a lot, man. Man, that was pretty cool hearing his voice in the corner. Hell, it sounded like Emmanuel Stewart. That was a trip. So yeah, that was pretty cool. He's taking the form of his uncle a lot, it seems. Yeah, but might not see him that long. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, who knows? That happens, right? As soon as like shit goes in, like, fine, get the fuck out of here, on to the next fucking trainer. And so I've heard. I've already started to hear stuff about, and mind you, it's kind of a moot point because ultimately Tyson lost, but his gloves are becoming to be an issue again. People are talking about the way his gloves are padded or something, because sometimes he throws out like a jab and like his fist seems to be here, but the glove seems to be here, kind of thing. Like, are you hearing or reading about that? They talked about it a lot during his fight. I think it was the rematch or the third fight with Wilder, and I'm seeing it more here. I'm seeing it. It's almost like the glove is big, and it's like the puff is out here, and he can like still tap you in the face with it. People were like coming all over the woodwork with stuff like this, but I didn't remember. I mean, they did have to really zoom in on it for me to be like, oh, I guess I see it, but nobody's talking about me. Besides that, did you notice anything funny about his glove?
I didn't notice anything about it. I've never heard. Do they have to make special gloves, boxing gloves for him? He is one of the biggest heavyweights we've ever seen, right? 6'9", 280. Do they have a good? Maybe it just doesn't look normal because of the size of his hands. You know?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be a certain ounces. I get that, but as beyond that, I'm not sure
I've
if
never seen
there's.
a heavyweight glove. Like, is there a difference, right? I'm sure there is, Miguel, from from the size of your hand of freaking Floyd Mayweather and Tyson Fury. There's got to be a difference in Terrence Crawford and Tyson Fury's hand size. So the glove has to be different. It might just look not. It doesn't look normal because we're not used to seeing a guy's hand like that big in a boxing glove. That's the only, because I got to think that they've inspected these gloves so much.
Mhm.
It's like, when would they be taking out the padding and inside the dressing room? Are you serious? There's supposed to be inspectors. There's supposed to be guys
Right.
from the other corners. Like, I don't know. That's a hard one to go with on a conspiracy of the padding of the glove, especially because he's not a powerful puncher. See,
Right.
now, if he was knocking people out and, my who was it, Margarito, popping
Yeah.
eardrums and
Yeah.
live on television, then you'd be like, wait a minute, that guy hits powerful. His ear exploded.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Fucking jerk
What is
off.
what is he hitting them with? What
Yeah.
brick? Who
Must
threw a
have
brick into the
cement in
fucking?
those gloves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking
Exactly.
jerks.
That guy, he can sure punch, punch through a fucking wall with those gloves. Like, yeah, he probably can.
He
Probably can.
probably could.
Yeah.
Definitely sheetrock.
Yeah, exactly right, exactly that. So a little bit of other controversy regarding the judge, one of the last judges. So I read this right in regards to a coin toss. It says coin flip determines third judge in the Usyk Fury rematch. And again, these are probably moot points because it doesn't really matter at this point. But it says, I found this on Supreme Boxing, their website or their Instagram account. Just hours before they are due to step into the ring, Fury and Usyk have finally agreed to the new judges for their fight. After one of the judges, Fernando Barbosa, assigned to the fight, fell ill, a replacement was needed in short notice. However, the camps were in disagreement over who that would be. Panama's Ignacio Robles and New Jersey's Steve Weisfeld were both flown in on short notice as potential replacements, and it appeared as though Weisfeld would be the one that was assigned. So that's I mean, I guess apparently they couldn't agree to a judge last minute once one was removed because he got sick, and it ended up being just a coin toss. Now, I haven't checked the scorecards, but you did check it earlier. um, I know all those judges had it 116, 112, but can you check Steve's card one more time to see if he's the one that gave maybe which rounds was it the 12th round that he gave Fury, or who it was? Again, ultimately it's a moot point because it doesn't matter. Usyk ended up coming away with the victory anyway, but it's just curious whether or not he played a role to any degree on the scorecards, with something like a damn coin toss that's like, all right, yeah, you're the one that
So
came person.
Steve Weinfeld ain't on this one. The judge
Oh,
is Robles Morkey,
oh, okay.
Morley,
Oh,
Morley. I think that is spelt, and then Martinez is the first judge.
okay, hold on. Let me see. So then, which is his Weisfeld would be get a sign? Oh, here we go. Okay, my bad. There was more to this article. Jesus Christ. However, damn, reading is fundamental, guys.
However,
However, Fury's promoter, Frank Warren, suggested a coin toss to settle the issue, with Weisfeld seemingly not satisfactory. Early this morning, that day, of course, it eventually came down to the Middle East Boxing Commission to make the call. There was a coin flip, and Robles was named the third judge. Okay, my bad. So it was
all
actually
right.
Robles who won
And
this
I
one.
was going to say, who Weinsfield, isn't that a top ranked judge? I'm going to say that dude done a lot of top ranked fights, and that's why Frank Warren was like, fuck you guys. You're not just flying him in to judge this. Yeah, it's hella possible, because I want to say Bob has spoken on him a few times.
Hmm.
So Robles, though.
Yeah, he got the gig.
Okay, so he has first round 10 to Usyk. So how does this go? This goes 10-9, 10-9-9. That's not a bad first 5 rounds for Fury there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Fury ahead. Round 6, 7, and 8, he gives all to Usyk.
Usyk. Mm-hmm.
Oh, he only gives Tyson 1 round in the last 7.
Is it the 12th? That's the one
Yeah.
that he. Oh,
No.
wow.
No. It's the 9th. It's the 9th.
The
Yeah, the 9th round he gives him, and then not the 12th. So see, he's lying because I gave him the 12th. So Just kidding.
Yeah, Robles, none of that shit anymore. You fucking dirty son of a bitch. No, I'm kidding.
Um.
Wow.
So yeah, no. Then I know that's why Frank Warren wasn't happy about the American judge coming, though. You know that. I know damn well that's what that was about. Um. But yeah, good fight. It was a good fight, and the scorecards didn't. The scorecards are just. It just made me feel like, man, I could have swore I watched a closer fight than that. That's all. That's probably all I was
Well, the
feeling.
rounds were closer. I mean, that's the thing, because
Oh, they
sometimes,
definitely were.
that's the thing. We see a fight and then we don't, because for those of you who don't know, when the judge scores it, he hands it off and it's off to somebody else. So he is already out of his mind and he's ready to concentrate on the following round. So he's not really concentrating or remembering at least what rounds he gave the previous few rounds. So maybe on the scorecards in total, it looks like, holy fuck, this dude just mopped the floor with his opponent, but every round was close. It still was
Yeah.
close, and that's what it looked like here, because the CompuBox numbers were pretty close. Yeah, they still leaned towards Usyk regardless, but they were pretty close. So the scorecards are kind of painting a picture that isn't really accurate. It leads you to believe that it was really a one-sided mopping, and it wasn't. It was a lot closer than the scorecards would lead you to believe.
Right. Right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So right now, as of the way it stands, everybody is, talking about what's next for these guys. I want to say Usyk went as far as to say that he might go back down to cruiserweight. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea, going up and then back down again. Everyone is calling for Fury to fight AJ, both of them coming off a loss. Of course, AJ's being a much worse loss, that KO loss, and to Dubois, and then Fury with this decision. I guess we can start with Usyk. What do you think Usyk should do next? I mean, I'm assuming the Reign, right? Reign as heavyweight champion for a while, but who?
So what I'm hearing on the internet tonight is that Usyk has turned down a $80 million fight.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay,
Yeah, turned
with
it down. Dubois. But
no,
guess where they wanted to hold this at?
the UK.
At Russia.
What?
Yeah.
What the hell? And where did you see it? Where do you remember where you read?
Remember I told you I sent it to you,
Oh,
but no, I can't
yeah.
find the damn thing.
Oh,
I
fuck.
can't. I don't. I must have just looked at it and thought I sent it, but I can't find it. But yeah, they're saying that Usyk turned down an $80 million fight. I was like, damn, it's a lot of money. But I understand. I wouldn't want to go to Russia either if that's
Right.
real. And I'm
Yeah.
talking to His Excellency about don't ever do that to me again, please. You know what I mean? Like the fuck. These guys are literally killing my brothers right now. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing. You heard Usyk say he wants to go home. He wants to spend time with his daughter. His daughter spoke to him on the phone. He hasn't seen her in 8 months.
Mm.
He left her when she was a baby. Now she's talking on the phone. That's fucked up. Makes you think about how much these men sacrifice to do these fights for us. As a father of four, I could understand where he's coming from. You could see it in his face. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That he knows he missed something in her life by doing this fight. It's and you guys, both of these men are they're past their prime. I know in this new age athletes can go on longer, but he's 37, the other guy's 38. We don't have a lot more of these men in the ring.
Mhm.
I let Usyk spend some time with his kids. The rematch with Dubois, yeah, at best with me. I don't even know. $40, His Excellency, for that one. Your undercard better be a little bit better than what this one was. I'm sorry, I spent the $40 on this one because of your main event. I don't know if I'll do that for Dubois versus
No, hell no.
Usyk.
Well, mind you, this fight was, I mean, this card was also supposed to have the Madrimov, right, and Boachuk,
Or
right? Boachuk, who put on a very spirited effort against Virgil Ortiz, and then Madrimov with Crawford earlier in the summer. So that could have been a very, very good co-main
yeah,
event. That would have been made it a little bit more worth it, right? But ultimately, we did pay the $40 for this fucking main event. We would need a fight like that to be at
yeah,
least the co-main event with Dubois and then Usyk, because sorry, I'm not going to pay for that one. That one better be on fucking regular DAZN, which I can stream on many devices. But that one best not be no fucking pay per view. It just
yeah.
unless maybe it is one of those $20 pay per views. Okay, cool. Maybe I'll go with that. I'll be fine with
Right,
that one. But
right.
otherwise, no way. Because I mean, from Usyk's perspective, All right, great. A rematch with this guy. What has happened the last two times that he's rematched somebody? He beat the living piss out of AJ, and then now he swept Fury. So chances are he's probably going to do the same with fucking Dubois.
Dubois.
So he's going to come in as a heavy favorite. So he's cool. Like, hey, I'll get a nice payday against Dubois. Russia, kiss my ass. I'm not going to go in the
Yeah,
fucking
that was a
fight.
weird.
So
That was a weird ending to that one.
yes,
I was
yes,
like
and
Russia.
um, which is gonna, and well, I want to talk about this a little bit later on because it's gonna be one of the other topics, but you mentioned it before, Turkey being the kind of person that just nobody can say no to. Nobody says no to you. He's got a lot of, pull. He's got a lot of power, right? So many, many yes men around him, they're not going to tell him no because it's his way or the highway. And good for Usyk to be like, no, this ain't going to happen in fucking Russia. I don't know where the hell that idea came out of, but I would like to see Usyk stay at heavyweight. I would like to see him fight against some of the other top guys. There was plenty of them. There was people on the undercard that were heavyweights, including Dubois. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't pay for it, at least unless it's $20,
Right.
but I wouldn't
Right.
mind seeing that one again. And I mean, there's always Zhang out there, right? That motherfucker's huge. There's also Joseph Parker, who's going to be fighting Dubois coming up here shortly. And if Dubois, because there's no guarantee that he's going to get past Parker, mind you. So who knows if that even is going to be a thing? Perhaps Parker pulls off the upset, and then we have Usyk and Parker. And Parker isn't that big of a heavyweight. He is still a big dude, but not nearly as big as some of the other ones, like AJ, like Dubois, like Fury, and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing Usyk stay at heavyweight. And for Fury, everybody's already talking about it. Might as well fight, fucking
Has
AJ.
to be.
Go to the
It has
UK,
to be.
cash out.
It has to be. It's a
Yeah.
retirement check for whoever loses, and it's
Mhm.
a good one. It's a good check to walk away from. But that is the only fight on the radar for Fury that makes sense right now. And if he beats Anthony Joshua, then he's on the road back to Usyk. But yeah, I love that fight. I wanted to say, did you hear what His Excellency said when they asked him about the AJ versus Fury?
No.
So one of the reporters were talking to His Excellency when he's like leaving the arena, and he's asking about the future of the fighters, and this is where he brings up Dubois and we're not going to do anything with Usyk until Dubois and Parker fight, right?
Mhm.
He goes, we're going to make a decision after that. And then he goes with Tyson Fury. The guy's like, oh, Anthony Joshua, we've always wanted the fight because it was, I believe, a UK reporter. We always wanted that fight. Everyone, and he goes, oh, yes, we could do that fight. And he goes, you think it's possible? And he goes, in the Riyadh season, everything is possible. I was like, oh, did anyone listen to that? Anyone listen to that? This guy doesn't take no. He ain't
Yeah.
taking no. Be your last fight. I'm telling you that we got growing pains. We're gonna learn who we're dealing with here in 2025. We will. And I'm telling you right now, all that bullshit, all that stuff that is on their law books ain't gonna be flying in the boxing ring. They don't bend over for that kind of stuff, man. It's their way or the highway.
That is a great point because one of the other, if there's any other closing comments about Usyk and Fury, because you basically, gave me the little softball here just now because there's some reports that I want
Wait,
to talk about.
all right, I
But
got one.
yes.
I got to give a shout out to our boy Lee Honish, who knew from the very beginning that
Mm,
Alexander Usyk was the greatest of all time. He told us he was the greatest of all time 2 years ago. He
mm,
said this guy, he won Olympic gold. He went to everyone's backyard in the cruiserweights to get undisputed. He goes a heavyweight, does it again. Look at where we are 2 years later. They're calling him the GOAT in 23 fucking fights, Miguel. 23 fights, and we think we have the greatest of this era? Are you serious, Lee? Love you, dog. I love you.
two weight classes undefeated. I mean, undisputed, right? Cruiserweight
Yeah,
and still undefeated to this day. Yeah, Lee
yeah.
hit it right on the fucking money, and I don't think either of us really believed it when he said
No.
it because he had just moved. He had just moved up to heavyweight, and then he was talking about who the fuck was he fighting? That Chisora? Who the fuck was it? I forgot who the hell it was that he debuted at heavyweight. It might have been
Yeah, I
Chisora.
think
I,
Joe
re-
Sora.
I
Yeah, I
remember
think you're right.
like this motherfucker. Like he struggled with the fucking Chisora.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, and damn, holy shit,
Yep.
what a prediction! Huh? What a fucking half court fucking shot for that one.
Yes,
Jesus
sir.
Lord.
Half
Uh,
court with the blindfolds.
yeah, like one-sided Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm fucking a fuck without that shit, man. Because here we are, several years later. Like, damn, he fucking did it. That's it's insane.
Yeah.
Um, but but to talk about Turkey here, I want to bring this up because a couple of days ago, and when I say a couple of days ago, I mean before this fight. I'm on Reddit, of course. I look at some of the other social media what is it, sites, platforms, and I see boxing news, and I have this Reddit one, right? A fan posts this, mind you. So there's only so much we can go off of. We're not going to necessarily hold him, hold his feet to the fire per se, or hers, whoever. But it was really intriguing because it involved Turkey and his way. You've mentioned it before, his way or the highway. Let me read this because it's not too long, but it's enough to kind of get you thinking.
Hmm.
The title of this says Turkey al-Ashik, publicly supporting Fury and disrespecting and insulting Usyk taints the legitimacy of the contest. And this is again, this is before the fight. There will now be a way to what? No, hold on. There will now be way too much bias and undue influence. So this is what he says. It says earlier the week, Turkey posted a video where where during a video call with Fury, they invited Usyk to the call. Turkey then proceeded to call Usyk a freak, which he does. He's like, "Hey, freak." Again, I don't know if they really know what that word means, or frankly, neither does Usyk, because I'm not sure
Right.
Usyk really reacted to that. And a rabbit. He went as far as say, "I got more room in my house or on my table for a rabbit." Another rabbit, whatever the fuck that means, and went on to say that he hopes that Tyson wins, claiming that Tyson will win. And there's a video posted to it, which you've already seen. And then says, then yesterday, the press conference, while Eddie was talking, Eddie Hearn, Turkey started interrupting him,
Oh,
saying,
there you
all of
go.
us for
Told you.
Tyson, right?
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
basically cutting them off. And it says, if we try to move past the sad optics of the disrespect, this shows to the universally recognized best heavyweight in the world. A man that holds himself with a lot of dignity and grace is a great role model. If we move past this and attempt to look at things objectively, it adds unnecessary pressure to the referees, the judges, the fighters. Going into this fight, if you find out that the guy funding this shit is rooting for one of the fighters, it's a pretty serious conflict of interest. And you,
Right.
as a judge or a fighter, is like, oh shit. Turkey is now the sole kingpin of professional boxing, which he pretty much is, and deserves his flowers for making some of the great fights happen, right? So he deserves the credit for making the fights happen. We don't know how long this will be the case, but he's the head guy right now in the industry. Um, he is the final decision maker and architect with the biggest cards, purses, cuts of various people, etc. If you aren't working with the Saudis, you're making far less money than you could do otherwise. So if you're a ref, a judge, or anyone else, you are likely to want to keep being requested to work on his cards. Hence, the very least, there is now a tangible bias in the equation. So, meaning if you're a judge or something like that, and you know that he's going for somebody, you want to continue getting jobs at these big high
Yeah, we
profile
talked about
fights.
that.
You
Yeah.
might want to lean in that direction, right? Now he says, now don't get me wrong, this has always existed in boxing, but never this candidly, never this openly.
Right.
Now it's being made public. It's from the person who has the most power than everybody else. And it's explicitly worse than any situation that this person has seen. Turkey needs to remember his role, not to get a god complex and stop tainting the fights with him rooting for one or the other. Also, the fighters are now psychologically affected by this. Fury has the added pressure of being backed by his regime, and Usyk now has the unnecessary anger of being disrespected. It's no longer about the two boxers. It put a cloud over the week. The guy says, "I'm still excited for the fight, but this is the John Fury headbutt of this time around." That's what I'm trying to say. So that being said, we've talked about it a few times. Not many people say no to this guy, right? They kind of can't,
Right.
right? This is the guy that's basically signing the checks and funding this thing. So you have to be very careful what you say to him. That's why earlier I said props to Usyk for saying no, we're not taking this fight to Russia. Um, you brought it up. We're going to have quite the learning curve with this, right? We're going to be experiencing some serious growing pains, especially if there's going to be a lot of people flying over to Saudi Arabia for some of these fights. So First off,
Las Vegas
mm,
and Saudi Arabia are way two different places, right?
yes, on many different levels. Yes.
I heard my friend went out to it was Dubai. It was Dubai, but I guess you can't even intermix with male and female. Like there's a subway that is only for females. Did you know that?
No, in Dubai.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap!
He
No, I
he
didn't know that.
tried to go he tried to go in it with his mom and they were like, "No, no, no, you can't do that. You'll get arrested. You have to go to your own subway." Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about out there, you know? And I'm just saying these younger men. See, Tyson and Usyk are different. They're both older.
Mhm.
They're almost on their way out. So maybe the excellency in them could, hey, we'll handle these. But you get one of these newer kids that you're a Tank fucking Davis. How do you think Tank's gonna be out there in Saudi?
A
Come on, bro.
Shakur, young cats
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
yeah. Devin Haney getting into fights in the fucking fairgrounds. Yeah, don't bring those guys. All your asses will be in jail. Don't no one give a shit about Devin Haney out in Saudi Arabia,
Or
right?
Ryan talking about Jesus is king and Jesus this that.
Oh
Can you
yeah.
believe that, dude? Can
Oh
you
man.
imagine him during a freaking press conference being high on whatever the hell he's
Yeah,
high
I
on?
was gonna
You
just
know,
say that. High
coming
on
into the thing,
coke.
not giving two flying fucks. I'm gonna up here about like Jesus loves you or Jesus saves or whatever the hell it is that Ryan decides, whatever mood he's in, depending on whatever substance he's inhaling is giving whatever mood he's being put in. There's no way they're going to be able to get away with that shit over there. Can you imagine that shit? It's just like,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it before, and I know this is a different country, so but similar laws, Middle Eastern, Singapore, right? Well, not, maybe not Middle Eastern, but years ago in the early mid '90s, though, that kid that was over there who was vandalizing
That's right.
cars or whatever, and then got
Yep.
fucking, the
Lashed. They
flash, yeah,
lashed them. Yep.
right, exactly, Singapore lashes, like holy crap, right? Like that's we have to keep that in mind, not
We
just
listened to it. They aired it in
really.
America,
Dude, I
I
was like
think.
fucking 10, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah. And they were like, he's fallen asleep. They will wait for him to wake up and begin again. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess when you pass out, they just stop whipping you. You up? Just back.
They're like, here's the deal. Smelling salt. Like, all right, here's all right. Come back.
Whack them.
Oh man. Yeah. So there's
And that was for what? That was for spray painting cars or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And America was like, we could do nothing. He's over there. We have no jurisdiction. There's nothing we can. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man. That's something that's going to have to be. We might have put ourselves in a corner here, Miguel, because the first time they do try to put their foot down and straighten out these athletes, that's when you're going to have promoters going, okay, can we get our sport back? Now we need to start telling these kids behind the scenes that maybe he isn't the guy. Fuck his money. We'll come back here and make money again. You get what I'm saying? Like, we might have worked ourselves in a corner because looking down the road, if he's under contract with promotional companies, the only way they could not give him fighters is by not signing anyone, right? That's the only way. Because anyone that's signed under DAZN Top Rank right now probably has to fight for him because they're under contract. So they would have to stop signing guys until those contracts go out. And that means there's going to be a big gap in our sport. Like, hey, what happened to those years where we don't have anyone for the next round? It's like, oh, well, people started leaving boxing because you didn't hear about that guy got arrested over there in Saudi Arabia. And then he was, everything that he wanted to do he's not. I don't think he gives two shits about Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, bro. I really don't. It's all what he wants, And then once you start rubbing those guys wrong, acting like, oh, De La Hoya, he said was a commentator. Did you hear that? Yes, bro. De La Hoya's not even he's not even a promoter anymore.
A former Olympian, not a gold medalist, none of that shit. Not a 6th division weight class champ, none of that shit. He's just like, oh yeah, he went to go grab me a drink. He's the kid.
Yeah, he's bringing me the best commentating. Yeah. Wow.
This guy really has a great mind for commentating. He's a great scout. He brings these great color commentators.
I heard that last night. I thought that was funny. I was like, damn, he straight fucking took the role of De La Hoya. Okay. So yeah, we might have worked ourselves in the corner. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know how far Saudi is gonna the Saudis are gonna bend over, and that's not even the right word to say. I don't. That just got my
That's-
credential pulled, didn't
yeah,
it?
right. I don't know how the Saudis are gonna take it in the ass. It's not, or
Oh my God, Miguel, don't double down.
I can't let you go down by yourself. If we're going in jail,
That's
we're both going
that's
in jail.
awesome.
God
That's
damn.
awesome.
We're
But
asking.
yeah, no, totally agree. I don't know how far they're gonna let this thing ride, but I don't see it lasting too long, man. Before they have to make an example out of someone that we're not playing around here just because you make us money. This place was rich before boxing. Let's not act like boxing made this country, right? So they're gonna tell us that at some point. You're gonna
Yeah,
start
but
doing what
boxers are
we
going
say.
over there because there's where the money already is. It's not like they're
There you
bringing the
go.
fucking money. I mean, they're bringing more. That's the point. But it's not like these guys were fucking scraping, the bottom of the barrel prior to this.
Yes. No, totally agree.
Which
Totally.
which adds to this following thing. This is one of the things that you sent me, and this is somebody posting this on Facebook. Um, it says that I guess the caption is Turkey is slowly buying up the whole of boxing. Turkey, Al Sheikh owns an entity that now purchased 13% of the zone. It's a huge PowerPoint. Um, and this is one of the other stories that we'll get into. I'm sure you guys have already heard it by now, but Top Rank and DAZN have now reached a deal, right? We're going to talk about that later on for that. So ESPN Plus no longer a thing. So ESPN, sorry, not ESPN, DAZN now has Top Rank. Well, we'll have Top Rank, I should say. Matchroom, Queensberry, and Golden Boy. So those are pretty, the major
Wow.
players. Really, the only ones that don't have is PBC. And according to Rick Laser, PBC did try to come to DAZN. DAZN's like, fuck y'all, we don't want your shit. So they got the boot. Realistically, PBC is not going to be around too much longer. I think that's what it looks like, at least. So they're not going to be major players moving forward. All the other major players are going to be with DAZN, and according to this, 13% of it is owned by a company that Turkey himself owns.
The
Um,
global the global network for boxing is how they were describing it last night. If you caught that, whenever they said the zone, the global network for boxing, I was like,
yeah,
oh, that sounds pretty cool. It's never been that. You know what I mean? Where we had all the fighters on one network.
yeah,
It'll be cool as long as these guys fight and we don't keep getting these cards that then get dismantled by the time they happen because of injuries and other fights. I think coming up, and his excellency goes, okay, take him off of that card and put him on this card, and there's no reason to do it. He's just doing it because he wants to do it.
mm.
So we yeah, we will see. But yeah, the global network for boxing is now what DAZN is. Pretty cool.
So in your opinion, there's going to be a point where Turkey is going to make an example of somebody. I guess, looking ahead, who do you think that could potentially be? I know we talked about a couple of
An
people. We talked
American?
about Devin.
No,
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
It's because we break the rules so bad. You know what I mean? Like you're talking about nightlife. The way the characters. I don't know what fighter would do it. I don't want to put no bad luck on someone, but what Tyson Fury? Look, Usyk. They even got at him with the cross thing. I don't like that whole you can't put the cross to your lips. And they were like, oh, it's religious? Well, no, it's because you might have something on it. Ha, got you.
yeah,
Then you can't say shit, right?
yeah, right.
I guess
That's
you'd
what I
have to I guess you'd have, here, Usyk, I got one for you. It might get you kicked out of Riyadh season, but kiss it and then hand it right over, right? Go, all right, tell your commissioner to be in the ring. Here, take it, go test it, do whatever you want. But then that might get you fired. Not too many loopholes you can use on these guys, because they'll just eliminate you. And now that
Yeah.
he runs the whole sport, I'm telling you, Miguel, I'm having these bad vibes that we worked ourselves into a corner here, and that we're gonna have
Well,
some young men that go to other sports because they don't want to fly to Saudi Arabia. Right? How many
mhm.
times have we heard with these athletes? Oh yeah, I could have been a baseball player. Oh yeah, I was into soccer. You hear that the Latin community all the time. They all could have been, either soccer players or.
Yeah,
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying whenever you
yeah,
whenever you see the backstories of these athletes, most of them are attached to other sports.
mm,
Soccer being the biggest in the Latin community, that's the one that they tend to go to. Um, In African Americans, sometimes it was baseball, not football, not basketball, because you have to be big, right? But
Sure.
baseball, you don't have to be that big. So there was a lot of guys that were like, "Oh yeah, I played baseball when I was little. I was really good in baseball. I was really good." And so you hear of these athletes having other sports they can maybe lean on. Do you
Well,
want to stay in America or do you want to travel?
we've kind of already seen it in the heavyweight division. That's why we have so
Yes.
few. I mean, I won't say that's why, but it's one of the primary reasons. If you can get paid half a mil, a year by being a fucking bench warmer for the
Yeah.
NFL, why wouldn't you do that instead of going to train, win 16 fights, getting punched in your face, making maybe a couple, tens of thousands of dollars? When maybe the potential of you becoming something hot shit in the heavyweight division where there's a fuck ton of money. Maybe, but you can definitely do it. I mean, I don't say definitely as if it's just easier, but my point is, if you make it, if you do what you can to make it to the NFL, then while you're there, you can be the dude, the fucking water boy, and you'll make a fuck ton of
And
money.
we have to remember we're not talking about everyone. We're talking about the 10 best
Right.
athletes in a sport. So yes, saying that they could make it in another sport is not out of the picture here. These are the best athletes of our sport. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
right.
Tyson Fury, for example, 6'9". I think he would have been used in a lot of other sports too.
Right. Yeah, precisely. And a lot of fighters do that. There are
So
fighters that come from other sports and come into professional prize fighting. And sometimes, I mean, right off the bat, I can think of Brock Lesnar, right? He was an Olympic, or not Olympic, NCAA champion in wrestling. And then he was kind of deciding between UFC and professional wrestling. And there was more money in professional wrestling. So he went to WWE. But then after that, he went to the fucking, the UFC after a quick stint with the Minnesota Vikings, stuff like that, or at least the training camp. So,
right.
there's these guys that can actually pull that shit off, and it's happening a lot with a lot of our heavyweight division because they don't want to get punched in the face. I understandably so. They don't want to go through that. They want the lifestyle, so they go to the NFL or they go to the NBA or they go to other professional sports where they don't involve. There are team sports, and they can get the ring, they can get the Super Bowl ring or whatever without getting punched in the fucking face. Again, I'm not making it seem like it's that much easier per se. We're talking about the top, but right now we just saw what happened with Anderson, right, with the real big baby. Dude was I guess our American hope, right, and he just got his ass handed to him back in the summer. So yeah, we're already seeing that. We're already seeing the heavyweights at least go. We're the two top guys that we saw. One, they're both European, one English, and one is Ukrainian. So we're already seeing it. In other words.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's interesting. A lot of guys don't want to go to the fucking Saudi Arabia, but to segue over to the next topic, which we kind of briefly touched on here. Our good buddy Rick Laser on Twitter 2 days ago, 3 days ago, this is the 19th. He says, more big breaking boxing news. Top Rank and DAZN have now made a deal for all Top Rank content worldwide will be exclusive to DAZN after their ESPN deal concludes with their last Top Rank ESPN show on July 26th, 2025. More details forthcoming. Congrats to all parties involved. So, a few weeks ago, we talked about some of the rumors. We knew that Top Rank was rapidly approaching the end of their ESPN deal. We weren't entirely sure where they were going to end up after that. If you hear Bob Arum, the CEO, talk about what the future holds, he thought about having several different platforms and having the content spread among several different platforms. Now, according to this, it seems like that's not the case. Now it's going to be exclusively with DAZN, which is for the best, really. I don't want to have to fucking pull out, and I've done it many times where we've had to flip back and forth between two streaming services to catch all the fights, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Now we might have to do it anyway because what if there's a chance that the same night the zone has two cards, a matchroom card or not match, maybe Top Rank and Golden Boy or something like that are the same evening. You're gonna probably have to switch back and forth anyway, but at the very least, it's on the same fucking platform. So good that their Top Rank will exclusively be on the zone, so we ain't got to go looking for them elsewhere. And wow, how the tables have turned, or how Michael Scott from The Office says, like how the turntables. Um, Top Rank, or Bob Arum in particular, at one point calling the zone dead zone, right? Well, now look at this. Now he's. I'm certainly glad that he went that direction because it's that's where the guys that they know what the fuck they're doing that's when you know who they are, because they're like, you know what? This is the direction we're gonna go. I forgot. I even said that other shit about DAZN. Fuck it. If this is gonna make us money, if this is gonna be the next best thing for DAZN or Top Rank, then I'm gonna do it. Sorry that I said what I said earlier. What was your first impression when you read this?
His hands are kind of tied behind his back. Top Rank been on
Bob
the
Arum talking
outside.
about.
Bob Arum, Top Rank's been on the outside looking in for a while now. I thought it happened because of Bob's age. We've seen this happening when he started losing fighters, Pacquiao, Garcia, um, um,
Ward, right? I think he had Andre Ward.
no. Crawford. He
Okay,
lost
Crawford.
Crawford. Yeah, he
Okay.
lost Crawford too. Just he couldn't nail down a
Shakur recently, right?
yeah, he just couldn't nail down a big fight for these guys. It was like in America, boxing had become so separate with PBC and Top Rank that they couldn't even do fights together anymore. You know, PBC was literally trying to strong arm Top Rank out of the sport by just not fucking with them, right? They thought they had all the fighters that people wanted to watch in their stable, and they didn't have to work with Top Rank. I didn't like that. You know, we weren't watching the best fight the best. We missed an era, to be honest with you. The whole welterweight era was like a shit show, with PBC only fighting PBC guys and Top Rank having some of the best of them, and they just weren't fighting. Pacquiao never gave that handed the torch over to anyone. He loses a fucking Ugas. Are you serious? That's who he passed the torch to? You guys couldn't get him in with Crawford. You couldn't get him in with Spence. It's like, it's so weird. Like they missed it. Floyd retires from the sport undefeated. What the fuck? You couldn't get him back to get that to pass the torch. I know it sounds like a shitty thing, but that's what happens to old fighters. They gotta pass
That's kind of
the
the
torch.
point. That's part of the business. Like that's the whole point of the old lion and the old lion and the new lion. That's kind
right.
of the right way to do it, I guess.
That's right. That's right. And you know, Floyd, it just didn't happen. Boxing couldn't nail it down. We have this guy that seems like he's going to be able to. He at least got everyone under contract now, right? They can't walk away. The only thing they can do is stall until the contract is over, and then go back to their own programming. And so that's that. Do you hear my kids?
Barely. I just enough.
All right, yeah, both of you out now. You guys are talking too much. Go.
You can barely hear them though.
So, shut the door, please. Sorry, you guys. They were trying. One got in, and then the other one wants to get in, and then as soon as they got in the room, they just want to start talking. So, but yeah, look it. You know, you brought up a good point earlier when you said how there is going to be a time where fights are on two different networks, and you're absolutely right, man. The UK and America used to put on fights on Saturday nights all the time. Same, you know, Queensberry Matchroom be doing their own event. We wouldn't give a shit because we didn't care about those guys, because the HBO and Showtime are doing their own events over here. How is he going to have that many dates for all these guys? Now you have all the fighters under one umbrella. Well, now we need enough Saturdays.
Yeah.
Or are we going to start?
There's not going to be.
Yes.
We're going to be having a fucking lottery. Like they're going to have to. Can you imagine being a promoter like Oscar and be like, no, I want my fight to be Cinco de Mayo weekend. Like, no, actually, Top Rank already has that. It's like,
that's right.
No,
there's
no,
three other men.
It's like they can do their show at wherever the hell, Phoenix, Arizona, and I'll do mine at T-Mobile. It's gonna be fine. It's like, well, now we're gonna have them, and the way streaming services work, you can have them both, but it's just like you still have to switch back and forth. You have to get out of one program and go to the other. Granted, it's one streaming service, but I can imagine that is going to happen at some point.
It's gonna happen, Miguel. There's
too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. You brought it up, and it's a great point. That's a great fucking point that His Excellency, I don't think, knows is coming down the road. Because I know what the uneducated is going to say. Oh, well, you just put them all on the same card. Better for boxing. Well, not when you tell everyone on the card they're only making $1 million because you have fucking 10 fights of everyone who thinks they're a $20 million fighter, right? The egos of these fighters are going to start coming in effect. Like, wait a minute.
And the promoters. The ego of the promoters.
Yeah. I'm supposed to make 10 million. I'm supposed to make 8 million. He's gonna be like, wait a minute. So I got 3 fights of guys thinking they're gonna make $8 million a piece. Yeah,
And
no.
let's go ahead and go down that rabbit hole real quick. Who do you think is going to have the final say? His Excellency.
His
So it's
Excellency.
like, so even it doesn't matter who pleads their fucking. I mean, maybe you kind of talked about it. Maybe His Excellency doesn't exactly have the highest opinion of Eddie Hearn. So maybe Eddie might take a back seat. Maybe they'd be like, if between Eddie and Oscar, fuck it, we'll put Oscar's card first. We'll put his card on the thing, and you'll have next week. But no, fuck, but you'll have next week, whatever. Right now, there's some leniency there because oftentimes a lot of matchroom cards are earlier in the day, so maybe they'll be able to at least have them at different times of the day. Queensberry and matchroom being earlier in the day, so maybe that.
But now are they all going to be in Saudi Arabia? Because I think that's why he made Riyadh season, is because he wanted most of these fights to bring money over there, right?
Sure.
But you can't do 2 telecasts in one arena. He's got problems coming, bro.
Yeah, problems that he didn't foresee. Problems that he didn't see ahead of time.
No, because in other sports you have teams. Teams make more money. That's why guys on the team can make millions, right? But in boxing, you only got one guy that makes millions, and the rest of the guys are happy that one guy makes millions. Now, when you put 2 or 3 of those guys on the same card, they're all gonna want that money. Yeah, it's damn it. Did I get Junior in the right sport? Should I just switch him to baseball, bro?
Just give him His Excellency's telephone number. I'm sure he'll like it.
No, man, I don't see this working for us. I really don't. I had bad fights before, and the point that you just brought up about where's all this money going to get generated from, they're not just writing free checks, right? You're not going to write a $20 million check, only make $5 million back and go, yay, this was very successful. We are so successful.
I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah.
Let's stack it with more names on the card. I don't think we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to need a lot more people losing. He's going to have to take some marketing down. Terrence Crawford, watch out. You might take a defeat here in your next.
Yeah, if you think, your deal with Top Rank and Bob Arum was bad, wait till you see how much you're going to get fucked.
Oh, yeah. Floyd's famous slave, what did he say, his slave wages to $8 million paycheck? Oh, he's stupid.
But that's going to be quite the juggling act when that comes around. And granted, we're still a little bit away from mid-July, July 2025. But what's that? 7 months, or a little bit over, because we're still in late December. So that's going to be. I wonder how it's going to look. I wonder how that's going to.
Pay-per-view is going to be higher than $40. Hey, let me mark that right now. It's going to have to be. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to put fights in other places, UK and Las Vegas, to build up big fights for Saudi, right? He has to. He can't put everything in Saudi. There's too many players. There are too many cooks in the chefs in the kitchen. Too many. Yeah. No, I totally agree with you on that one. We do have some things in the near future that are going to be kind of questionable on if this is going to work or not. Yeah. We've got laws we need to learn. We got a whole culture we need to learn. Mm-hmm. We need to learn if these events are even making money over there. Like, the crowd looked big, at least for this fight, but there's been many fights where this crowd didn't show up. With the Latin card, there was nobody there.
Yeah, the Latin night. Yeah, that was not. And they had a nice, cool stage set up with
that was this, beautiful
Aztec pyramid and everything. Right, it looked hella badass. And realistically, even if you point out to the crowd, if the camera does that, there's a lot of Arabs over there that are like, "What the fuck is this about?" Well, I don't know what pyramid's about. Like, I'm not saying that they're dumb, but like, that's not the culture. They don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? It's like some, I'm sure, do, but they don't get this mariachis. They don't get this kind of dancing. They're like, I don't. Okay, I suppose. But yeah, that's
you have to have something that brings the fans. Las Vegas brings fans because of the fight and because of the casinos and because of the nightlife, the adult life, right? I'm sorry, but it's true, right? That's why rich men like going there, because they can do a lot. Go to a country where you can't even be on the same subway as a woman. Did you see their? Hey, I don't know if it was hella funny. It came over my feed, but they opened a water park out there, the first water park ever, and it's all men. There's not one girl in the
Oh
whole
shit!
thing, dude. Yeah, it's
Oh
that kind of
man,
place, bro.
damn. Well, I mean, there's no rent card girls, right? I mean, there's none of that anymore.
I've even read where they have temples that the women can't even enter. It's only men can go and pray. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, shit. I
We
don't know
have to
how.
learn culture. We have to learn laws, and
Mhm.
we have to learn the how the finances are going. It looked good in the beginning. The more Miguel and Andrew talk about it, we're not
Yeah,
going to be invited over there.
I know, right? It's like, hey, quit pointing out all the negatives about this shit. You son of bitches, we're not gonna grant you shit. Don't ever anticipate. Like we have you guys on, posters over here. If you guys come over here, it's not gonna be good for
Right.
you. So on that note, how how did HBO do it then? Because didn't the way it worked is, I mean, maybe they might need to borrow some ideas from HBO. HBO had a yearly budget and said, all right, we're
Yep.
gonna use this amount for some of the bigger fights, regardless of who the promoter is. Isn't that kind of sort of how they're going to try to do it? I mean, I don't know if they're going to necessarily follow that same format, but that would be a good idea. I mean, it worked for HBO for 40 some odd years.
And then they got out.
Well, because of the condition of the sport, would it be?
It was because
I
of
mean,
money.
well, yeah, it was because of money. They weren't getting the same, whatever viewership,
And
I guess, and
viewership, and I also think that everyone thought they were Floyd fucking Mayweather. And why am I making 20 million? And why am I making 20 million? And HBO was like, I just think HBO got out because of that. I could see if HBO was still in, let's work off their platform, but we really can't because they got out of this newer platform. You know, it,
mm,
it wasn't it like Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez is the first fight to do a million buys under 147 pounds?
oh, really?
Yeah.
They're what, the third fight or the
The
second fight?
third, yeah, one of their fights. I'm just saying, think about how um long boxing pay-per-view has been on. Closed circuit has been on.
Yeah.
That was the first time someone had went over a million buys. So uh
So, all right. So on that note, are
HBO
that's one
never
of the
had a
reasons.
deal with. Yeah, they never had a deal. They were always low budgeting those guys. Finito Lopez, Michael Carbajal, all these guys, they were making pennies, dude. They weren't making serious money. Where nowadays these guys, in a way, you think he's fighting for the same price as Finito Lopez? Fuck no,
No, hell no, not even close.
not even close.
So do you think now currently there are guys who, like, so for history to repeat itself, HBO having this issue with guys who think they're Floyd? Do you think Turkey will have that problem with the zone and too many people thinking they still are Floyd?
Yes, yes. I think he has too many guys that are at the $5 million rate. Right? Let's not even
Okay.
go 20. Let's say
Mm,
$5 million. You got to remember, these fights still need to bring a profit to make sense.
mhm.
So if you are putting 10 or 15 million dollars on the line and you don't make 20 million back, what were we doing this for? That's what they're going to start saying. Like, we got to put this money somewhere else. Um so the Chris Eubanks, right? The what's the fight Eubank
And
and
Connor
um
and Connor
and
Ben.
Connor Ben, yeah. It's little fights like that where both guys' egos are hella big. Are
Mm,
they really going to come down to a price and and, and then be on the undercard because it's really not a main event? You're a good fight, but you're not a main
mm.
event, and you're not going to make the money that you think you're worth, right? And then it's just it seems like you're going to be messing with a lot of guys' egos here. And that's what I think HBO ran into, and they got out of the sport because of it. Everyone started doing the little Floyd Mayweather thing, where Floyd thought if you kept your O, you would make money. And I keep telling you people, it was all about timing with Floyd. Floyd came at a great time, and he was able to rob the bank, like he used to tell us,
Mhm.
because of it. Now we don't have that. Now we're really desperate. We're desperate. I think that is the word, at whatever His Excellency is giving
We're
is
at
what
his mercy, basically.
we're at his mercy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So if a fighter thinks, what, I'm only gonna make 2 million, but I could have went here and made 5 million, yeah, and I'm saying another sport,
Mhm.
the younger generation might start going, and their fathers might start thinking about that. And that's you know that's the big thing that His Excellency is going to have. We won't know how good they're doing until he starts telling us what the pay-per-view buys are. I've still never seen a pay-per-view buy rate for any of their fights.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We never break that news, you know.
Well, I guess we can pay close attention to this one.
We will, but I mean,
Tuesday, Wednesday
I,
is the first
I'm
one.
I can guarantee you we were paying close attention when they fought the first time. Yet we got no pay-per-view numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
so we have to see what these fights are making, and we already know that the Latin thing didn't look like they made any money at the gate, right?
Yeah.
There was no gate for that one. Um, so yeah, it's not a slam dunk for us just yet.
Yeah.
2025.
Maybe not at
Matter
all.
of, matter of
We don't know
fact,
yet.
December 22 of 2025, we're going to bring this show back, and we'll see where His Excellency is at this point next year.
Mm.
Okay, because I think we're going to know a lot more about if this platform is really going to work for us. Um, I'm leaning on the caution right now. I really
Mm.
am. That there's a little bit too many hurdles to jump over to get this global network boxing thing really off the ground. One of them being your point: too many cooks in the kitchen. How are they going to get? Oh, how are you going to get these dishes out?
Yeah, and I think to kind of put an exclamation point on this, um, there's a lot of things that are unforeseen and it's unprecedented. I might go as far as to say it's unprecedented. There's a lot of issues that we're going to come across that we haven't come across before, and quite frankly, we don't know how to, get over
Let's
that hurdle.
let's be honest, Miguel. They arrested Floyd Mayweather, we were told, right? Let's not lie
Yes,
here.
and it was being detained and being
It was
held,
being
and he's going to get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
yes. Yeah, man.
Mm. But that's a good idea. 12 December 22nd, 2025. We're gonna revisit this
See,
and see
see
where
what
we're
I
at.
did? I guaranteed you Miguel's gonna be talking to me in 1 year, you
Yeah.
guys. There you go.
Right. Well, again, Andrew with his softballs, talking about 2025 because Mr. Excellency has said this about one
Nice.
Shakur Stevenson. Turkey, Al Sheikhs, has outlined his and Eddie Hearn's plan for Shakur Stevenson in 2025. February 22nd, the fight that nobody fucking asked for. Floyd Schofield and Shakur. All right, that seems to be it's gonna happen on 22nd, which is the same card as Better Biev and Bivol, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be on the undercard of that. It seems, at least. Whether it's gonna be the co-main event or not, I'm not entirely sure, but it's gonna be that super card that we're looking forward to in late February. So February, Floyd Schofield. In May, William Cepeda. All right, William Cepeda. Damn, I'm down with that. The
Yeah.
second half of 2025, unification bout versus Gervonta Tank Davis, if Tank Davis wants to fight and wants to accept it. Okay, so not a bad deal. Pretty optimistic. There's another word of I'm looking for. But seems to be. I don't know. I'm trying to think of that other word, but essentially they really think they're going to get this shit done with Shakur. Um, he has yet to do it. He has fought,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Valdez, sure, okay, and
He's been
then
saying that about
now,
Virgil Ortiz for a few months now too. And
right,
we still haven't seen shit with Virgil out of Rehab season 2. So I agree. He hasn't it's a good plan, but now you gotta follow through with it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
precisely. So we can kind of go through this here real quick. Okay, February 22nd, Floyd Schofield. Not the fight that we wanted. Um, Thoughts on it? We talked about it a few weeks ago, but Schofield really?
It's These are the fights that I expect for for a how do you say it, a headliner to
Hmm.
be on the undercard of another big fight, Bivol versus um
Better be.
Beterbiev being the
Hmm.
main event. You have to give the co-main event, if he's another headliner, which Shakur is. He's been on pay-per-view. He's been on freaking on many platforms. You got to give him a weaker opponent, and I think that's why this Schofield is a glimpse of what we're going to be seeing here as a pattern with these fight cards that have too many headliners on them. It'll be a headliner. It'll be a good main event. a headliner on the bottom versus some scrub because I don't have $10 million to pay out and not make it back, right? So we might see a lot of these, which is not bad, because a fight like David Benavidez versus Morrell might have taken place already, because they would have gotten Morrell real cheap, and he made his money. And I don't think he's made his enough resume to get a Benavidez fight, but if the fans want it, why not, right? I'll give you another example. Benavidez versus Canelo might have happened in Riyadh season already, because Benavidez would have came in at a price that His Excellency could handle, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of these, when you have a guy who's undisputed and young, you can work with the guys that are coming up to fight him earlier than what boxing's used to seeing by, no, we don't want him to fight yet. He's 26 and he's 24. They can fight 4 years from now. That's how boxing used to be. Let's not joke around here or get it fucking twisted. That's how these promoters used to work, right?
Yeah.
They would look at the age of these guys and literally behind closed doors go, no, we're not doing it until 3 years from now, dude. Don't even fucking bring us up. We're just gonna build this thing. His Excellency ain't building. Right now he has a stable of fighters that he does not have to build. Now the next generation, yes, he's gonna have to build. He has some fights right now he can bang out for us.
Yeah, already established names.
That's right. Sort of like when Golden Boy got into the fight game. If you remember Oscar, when he first developed Golden Boy, he kind of took the whole stable, man. He had hella fighters under his banner, and was able just to knock out some great cards, card after card. Rocky Juarez, Barrera, all these guys were on all of his.
Marquez.
Yeah, they were all under his fight. Basically, the whole PBC roster at one point too was De La Hoya's stable.
Yeah.
So His Excellency has that to work with. But yeah, I think that is it's a good indication of what we're going to see in the future with too many headliners on cards. Some of them are going to have to be against scrubs. As a former Chavez fan, I don't mind it. Chavez used to fight fucking 20-something times in a year, and I watched every single one of them, because while he was fighting that ranked opponent, he would literally be walking in the ring. They'd be like, yes, Chavez is fighting tonight, and then in September, he will be fighting Hector Camacho. Like, they would already tell you he's his next opponent while he was going in to fight the #1 contender of whatever belt he was holding at that time, mostly the WBC, but he had other belts in his career. So as long as His Excellency is Schofield ranked by any of the belts, and if he's ranked by him, then announce that when you're announcing Shakur is fighting him, and I'll be like, hey, he's ranked in all 3 top 10. He's top 10 in all 3 belts. Let's do it. Let's run it. So I will be happy if they work it like that. And I think boxing diehards will benefit big time if His Excellency can get us fights that we wouldn't have seen in their primes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So February, Schofield. All right. Nice little prep, right? May, William Cepeda. Now, February, March, April, May. 3 fucking months later, we're going to get Shakur back? I don't know. According to, again, very optimistic, very, there's another word I'm looking for. I can't, like, they just seem very willing, like, oh shit, motivated. This is going to happen. Yeah, this is really going to happen, guys.
Miguel,
so,
let me remind you that he called the GOAT of our era a fucking rabbit on at his dinner table. Do you think he would have called Muhammad Ali a rabbit? Oh yeah, I could have room for another rabbit at my table. Yeesh. No, they would have loved Ali. They would have.
That's true. They would have loved him at least. Yeah.
They would have loved Ali. But yeah, I mean,
as long as go ahead.
I'm just saying. Oh shit, what was I gonna go? I just lost. Sorry, I cut you off, bro. I just lost my train of thought.
Well, I was gonna say, as long as Mr. Turkey doesn't do what Teofimo Lopez is doing, calling these guys monkeys, probably should stay away from that. Again, Turkey, please read the room. Go ahead and do the research. Make sure you don't say the wrong fucking thing. Yeah, you can call the GOAT Usyk a freak.
Remember, Usyk did it too. Didn't Usyk do that too? Remember when he made was it him that made the racist joke, and then he had to like take it back?
No, really? He would have been by now. They're really no shit.
No, I want to. I think it was Usyk. Maybe it was Kovalev. Yeah, it might have been Kovalev.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought up
Um,
a monkey or something like that, and he was like, "In our country, it's funny." And we're like, "Fool, this is America. This is not funny over
yeah,
here."
exactly. That's not how it rolls. Right? I mean, since when are Russians funny? I don't know about that, um, but all right. 3 months later, William Cepeda. So supposedly now. I am totally down for that one. I can give two flying fucks about Schofield, sorry, but I would much rather see this one. Presumably, Shakur is going to get past Schofield. Of course, Schofield's still too green right now, and he's got Cepeda, who was coming off a difficult performance, although a victory, still undefeated over Tevin Farmer. Okay, May. I don't know, but that seems a little too soon. Something I suspect is not going to happen in May, but regardless, May. Cepeda, Shakur, that one's a lot better, huh?
Oh, it's a great fight. Yeah, no, that's one of his gems that he could deliver to us right now. That's what we mean by he has a lot of fights that are already established
Yeah.
and could just be brought out. That's a great fight. I do agree with you about the 3 months. Now, once again, going back to Chavez, even going back to Tyson. Tyson fought like 19 times in 1 year. I don't know if
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes. Every other week.
yeah.
1 month, it was every other week. Yeah.
So there's back in the day, the men were used to doing that, fighting through injuries, fighting with injuries, just all of the above. In today's world, these guys are used to taking a year off. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They're used to making $1 million and then not fighting until 12 months later, 13. He's been off for 14 months. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know if Shakur wants to fight every 3 months. He might have a hurt hand, and
Hmm.
they're not used to doing that. We're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to go back to the old days. So yeah, we will see. 3 months is kind of a fast turnaround, especially because if Schofield is ranked, and then you're gonna turn around and unify, um, pretty good. You are like Chavez. That is Chavez like, and I
Hmm.
did say that he used to do it.
Hmm.
So it can be done, but you need the right people to do it. And right now, I don't know if we have more divas in boxing than actual fighters. So we will see here soon, December
Yeah.
22nd,
Just
2025.
to some degree, we probably like shot ourselves in the foot by paying these guys so fucking much. You've talked about it before. Maybe these fighters have to be starved a little bit, right? For them to be
That's
like,
right.
yeah, how about you fight twice in 6 months? How about that, homie? Maybe we can get that going, and we can pay you 20 or million or whatever the shit. But
That's
May.
where that's where your thing about too many chefs in the kitchen comes
Mhm.
into his favor, right? Because he's gonna say,
Oh
"You see
yeah.
this? You see this list? Look, I take your name off of there, and I'm gonna put it way down here. You see how that works? Look at you now. You don't fight for another 12 months, woo!
Yeah, it's like
Right?
January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Oh, September, September already. Uh,
You're
um,
absolutely right, bro.
So
That might
then,
work in his
yeah,
favor.
and I think it would, yeah, it'll have to starve some of these guys because they'll be more willing to fight more often than that. And then the second half of 2025, mind you, May is close to the half of 2025, so the second half can be any fucking between June and December. And it says unification bout with Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, the first two fights seem very easy to make. Those guys are all going to be under the zone, right? So I'm sure we can make it happen with Cepeda being Golden Boy. I'm not. I think Schofield is Golden Boy as well. Yeah, yeah, he is actually. So, all right, two guys that are with the same streaming service, the Zone, same network, so they can definitely make that work. And two promoters who have worked before and will continue to do so. Tank, not so much. How likely? I mean, it's already bad enough that we're not getting Tank on the fights that we want to see him. Again, this is very optimistic from His Excellency. Second half 2025, realistically, do you think we can get Shakur? And I mean, presumably that he gets past Schofield and Cepeda, but really, you think we're gonna get, or at least according to Turkey, because mind you, Turkey has at some point said some stuff about the Tank. Tank talking about, yeah, go ahead and send two Mercedes to my house, and then we'll fucking talk. And it's like, how about I send you two pair of gloves or two gloves, and then we can talk. So um, already probably doesn't have the best opinion of Gervonta Tank Davis, but according to this, we're gonna have Shakur and Tank the second half of 2025. What are the chances of that actually happening?
Ah, not high. I'm not high on those chances of it. That is a fighter of the year resume right there, right? Cepeda and
Yeah,
Tank in
it's
the
like
same year.
boom, boom, like young cat, he whoops his ass, established cat whoops his ass, and then Tank, if he
Yeah.
if he can do it, if he can do it. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. That I totally agree. I just think that's a little bit wishful thinking there from His Excellency, especially because he hasn't really worked the deal with Tank yet. He doesn't. Look, another thing I just thought of,
Mhm.
you can't bring your entourage to Saudi Arabia. That's really going to affect these guys too. You know, they're going to be like, man, what about all my hype men? Right? These guys, they're used to having like 30 dudes around them at all their fights. You're going to pay for 30 fucking plane trips to Saudi Arabia? Think not. Think
Hmm.
not. So they I don't know. I don't know how many of these guys are going to want to go out to Saudi Arabia when they can't bring their boys with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to go on here, and I think Tank is definitely one of those guys that his ego might keep him from going to Saudi Arabia. Now, with that being said, he doesn't have that many options in life, right? He's very small, so he can't just cross over sports. And he's made his mark in boxing. He's going to be a boxer. So at some point, he's going to have to break and go over there and do whatever they have to say. But I don't think it'll. One of those fights won't be happening in 2025. And because Cepeda works with Golden Boy and Golden Boy has already worked with His Excellency, I lean more towards that fight happening than the Tank Davis one.
Okay. All right. Well, because I wanted to kind of touch on you were saying, Tank kind of doesn't have too many options. He has said already that most likely 2025 after
Yeah,
he
I
retires,
know.
he's gonna retire, right? So,
Yep.
do you think he's willing to sell the O? Say, okay, you know what? This is my last fight. If I lose, who gives two fucks? Shakur, let's do it.
No, that's a good point. That's very yeah, that could happen. Uh, how much money is His Excellency willing to pay for that? Oh, because we look, Tank had one great fight with Ryan Garcia, who was a YouTube star. Okay, Ryan Garcia is a YouTube guy. He's a social media guy. Next two, or we'll say one. He's only had one fight pay per view since Garcia, right? Frank
Um,
Frank Martin,
Frank Martin. Oh
and
shit,
then
I'm gonna have to
his
look it up. Was that it? Really? I could have sworn he's fought. Damn. All right.
no,
Go ahead. Keep
because
talking.
I
I'll,
think
I'll
he's
look it
gonna
up.
fight again here in a few months on pay per view.
Yeah,
So he's gonna have
March.
two. He's gonna have two fights on pay per view since the Ryan. If he doesn't even bring a 1.4 million, I mean, how much is his O really worth?
Damn, you're right. That's right. After Ryan Garcia in April of 2023, I think he got in legal trouble, so he was like on house arrest. And then his first fight back against Frank Martin was June of 2024, so over a little over a year after that. And he's not going to be fighting until what do we say, March? So another 8 months after that or something. Anyway, what we can say is he's what now?
Um,
What you just said. Sorry, what you just said.
I don't know, but I liked he was the one when he got arrested. He tried he tried to do house arrest, and then they went and they looked him up. They're all, why is he at the Hilton? He's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be at my house. Can I do my house arrest at the Hilton? You fucking moron! Bring him to jail now.
Yeah. Uh,
Gotta let that's the shit I'm talking about right there, Miguel.
mhm.
That type of attitude can't go to Saudi. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
no. I mean, we're pretty free over here, and we still break those fucking rules. Over there, we don't even have this kind of freedom. So you best believe we're gonna cross some lines over there. You know,
Yes.
unintentionally sometimes. It might actually happen. I mean, you mentioned that example with your friend, and his mother going to the subway.
Yeah.
Everything. Like
Yeah.
we might unintentionally ruffle some feathers, and it might get some people in some serious fucking
You
trouble.
bring your girl. You know how loud your girls like to be. Get in an argument in a hotel room.
Mhm.
Now she's cussing out this guy, that guy. Nah, man, it's either gonna be leave everyone at home. Leave everyone at home. Go over there,
Yeah.
make your money, come back. That's what's gonna be the game plan for a lot of these dudes. So yeah. No, and so Tank, and you're right about the retirement thing too. You got him saying retirement, and it's probably because he doesn't want to fight. He don't want to fight the best of the best. We've known that about Tanks already. We know that about Floyd.
Yeah.
Floyd bragged about not fighting guys in their prime. You know what I mean? He bragged about robbing banks. Well, that's the blueprint this kid has built his career on. Now all of a sudden you think he's going to turn into just fighting everyone? First off, I don't think he's that good. I don't think he can fight all the good guys back to back to back. So, So yeah, I'm not really leaning. I would lean more towards Cepeda, and I don't know how much his O is really worth to His Excellency right now. His Excellency in boxing, from the outside looking in, I believe he's already in the red. I really do. I think they're the zone right now where they got in, they're making splashes, but in behind the scenes, they're like, hey, when's the money going to start coming in? Because we haven't made any money yet. Um, that credit card won't last that long. There's other sports out there they've been trying to buy. I told you about that F1 race they're doing, 13 stories up in the air. They're taking the race up in the air, dude. You know how cool that's going to be? You know how
Yeah.
rich was. Once again, a rich sport. A lot of rich guys are going to be out there, but what do they have to offer to these men at nightlife? You've got to have other entertainment than just the sport. So
Yeah.
I think Saudi Arabia is going to have a big
Well, they
problem.
have gambling, no? I mean, is that
No, fuck no.
then no, they don't have the casinos. They don't have like down in Dubai or something like that. I mean,
All
it's
right,
just
we're gonna learn. We're gonna do the culture thing on the next show. We're gonna have to. Hey, you guys, we're gonna have to bring up the culture thing on the next show. But fuck no, I do not think there's any casinos in a place that you can't even intermene with women on a public venue. What is the casino only for
yeah.
men?
Maybe I was thinking about Macau or something. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
trying.
Oh yeah, it had to have been.
Huh. Okay.
I
Damn.
can look it up real fast, but yeah, we're gonna have to. We are gonna have to go down that rabbit hole, man. Because
Yeah, because there's gonna be some issues, some instances where there's gonna be some encounters, there's gonna be some hurdles they're gonna have to jump over, and that we will. I'm sure, as you mentioned, there's gonna be some people that they're gonna be made an example of, and it's gonna most likely be an American, most likely. It may not be English dude, or may not be another country, perhaps maybe another more democratic country.
and
But
you remember they
uh,
said that's why Floyd got in trouble. That was one of
oh,
the
that's right.
right.
The
He was dealing with some black fucking market
yeah, ground
gambling
gambling
over
or some
there.
shit.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
says is prohibited. Gambling in Saudi
Oh,
Arabia is prohibited.
damn. So what else? Nothing else, huh? That
I
can
don't
draw
think.
people.
Yeah, they got it.
Could that be why they do the shows? Like, I mean, like why they have rapper Eminem fucking, it's like, well, we can't give him anything else, so at least we give him a fucking show.
There you go.
That might be one of the reasons
Yeah.
why they fucking, because how else are they gonna? I mean, what is the nightlife over there? Is there a nightlife over there? I don't know. But okay, so let's momentarily go down this rabbit hole here. Let's say no Tank. Let's say Tank doesn't actually happen the second half of 2025. Shakur gets who then? Who can be that superstar? Mind you, people already left lightweight. Is he going to have to move up to 130? I'm sorry, 140 to actually make it happen? Because if he's not going to get Tank,
Loma retired on.
well, I mean, he said he's gonna take a step back.
No, he retired, bro.
Lomachenko?
Oh, you missed the news.
What the hell?
Lomachenko retired this week, bro.
I haven't seen shit about that. I gotta have to look that up because I
Yeah,
haven't
look it up. Look it up. But I think he retired. I think I read a report. Lomachenko is stepping away.
All right. All right. So no Tank, no Loma. Then who was going to be the rival? Who was going to be? Because I mean, trying to get another lightweight that's close to Tank or close to Loma.
Oh,
heights up there.
WBC announces Vasily Lomachenko retirement only to delete post.
Oh.
So maybe they spoke too fast. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I did read it. I did see it on there that he had retired.
Son of a bitch. So yeah. So we'll do this real quick. Let's say it's not Tank. Tank doesn't want to fight Shakur the second half of 2025. Who can they get for Shakur? Who can be the closest thing to a Tank or to a Loma if they don't get those?
Not at lightweight.
No,
Nobody.
140 for sure.
Yeah, you have to move up. You would have to move up at that point, unless Navarrete wants to come from what is it, super featherweight? Try to move up.
Yeah. Well, he said he's going to go up to 135 already. He said he might have one or two fights more left in him.
Granted,
maybe this is enough time for him to have those one or two fights before he moves up to 135, and we finally get Navarrete and Shakur at 135.
Granted, that's not Tank Davis, right? But that's the next big fight for him. And if he beats Cepeda, that would make that fight even bigger, though, right? Because at least a lot of the Mexicans would already know Shakur. If they don't already, they would have another reason to hate him, basically, because he beat Valdez, right?
Yeah.
You already beat Valdez, and then you beat Cepeda. Oh yeah, we'd be all in for for Navarrete, especially if Navarrete if his excellency could match up Navarrete again out there in Riyadh with the opponent to make him look good. Because his last fight he didn't look that great in that Riyadh season. Then yes, that's definitely a fight they could look at before moving him to 140.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so there's a couple of other stories here. We're kind of running short on time, but one of the
sorry
other.
about that, guys.
That's all right. No, we talked a lot about fucking Usyk and these are good fucking topics, mind you. I love even if we have a few amount of topics to go into depth into those is what I like the most. But okay, just want to throw a couple of quick ones out here. The fighter who recently defeated Tim Tszyu, whose name is difficult to pronounce, Mortazaliev. Supposedly is fighting Crawford in April. At least that's what he says. He says, I'm hearing a lot of rumbling about me potentially fighting Crawford in April. Anybody know the truth? He flat out posts this on his fucking social media account saying, like, hold the front door. I'm hearing rumors about me and Crawford in April, which, mind you, I would be down with. Hell yeah, he's a title holder. He just got some notoriety off of beating Tim Tszyu. And Crawford, of course, now 154 kind of guy and holding a belt that he took from Madrimov. Damn, I wouldn't be mad at that fight, Crawford and if I can get his name right.
No, I hear. Yeah, I hear you. I wish Crawford. It's hard, Terrence seems like he's in a bigger place than these guys are matching him up with. Yes, it's a decent fight, but does he really deserve a crack at Terrence Crawford? I just think that the Spence fight wasn't enough. Virgil Ortiz is a bigger opponent, I think, than the young man you're mentioning right now. It sucks for Terrence, man. It really does. The guy, he missed everything in boxing. Never made the money he was supposed to. So yeah, I would watch the fight, but I just think that I wish there was bigger fish to fry for him. Even if it was a move up, dude. A move up to fight Canelo sounds better than him fighting all these European fighters, and the McGregor 2-fight deal sounds better to me. Seriously.
Well, in regards to like cashing out, him cashing out.
Yeah, just cashing out. Yeah, because he's already 35, isn't he? 34, 35 himself. So we know that his time was coming too. So, and it seems like ever since McGregor got the guilty case on the essay, the sexual assault charge. That fight has died a little. So you're not really hearing too much about McGregor right now.
Right. And then you mentioned something that was briefly brought up from Turkey, that Crawford is injured. That's what that's what we hear, right? That's what he said. Yeah. Now we don't know if you remember what he said. Did he mention any specifics on the injury? Was it his hand? Was it his knee? Was it his leg?
No,
anything like that?
I don't think they can. They can't disclose. That's doctors. That's what do you call it? You can't disclose medical conditions. Bro.
Confidential.
Yeah. So I don't think he did. He just said he was injured. He would be rehabilitating it soon, and would look to work with him next year. Yeah.
All right. But I would be down with that fight. But for Crawford, a lot more risk than reward.
Bro. It's just like his last fight. When he smokes these guys, and be like, well, who the fuck was he? I know. I don't know who he was either. He had one good fight. One good fight?
Yeah.
And that's where I got to lean on the Usyk being the all-time great. You guys, I'm playing a little 23 fights. He's the greatest of the era. Come on. Bullshit. You got to – longevity now needs to kick in, right, where he defends the title.
The reign, the reign at the top for a while, yeah.
Yeah. But he's at an awesome start. He's definitely in the history books. He's definitely one of the best of this era, but no, I'm not putting him up there with Muhammad Ali just yet. You know what I'm saying? But that's where people were going. I will say, thank you, Usyk, for showing Ali was still competed with guys. because these dudes are big as fuck, and Usyk came in here and slapped them all, right?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Some of
size
them
does not
twice.
matter.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly, bro. They had 2 chances of beating this little guy. What did Tyson kept calling him a little man this whole week, bro?
Mhm.
Eesh. That's not gonna let him sleep well.
No, exactly. And I did, and did you catch when they were like face to face right before the fight, right when they came to the center of the ring, and Fury was doing some like making faces. He was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you, motherfucker," or something, right? Something like that,
Yeah,
right? It's like,
yeah,
"Oh shit," trying to
yeah.
do right, and man, stoic ass Usyk.
Usyk
Holy
was
shit,
stone
it's just
cold, bro.
hell yeah, he was. He's like,
Yeah,
"Watch, you're gonna get it, homie."
yep.
Okay, well, that pretty much sets it up. We got a couple of other ones that we didn't get to, but I mean, realistically, they're just kind of fillers. We didn't get to them. We can always leave them until next week because they're not exactly pressing. So we will do that.
Next week,
Next,
next
yeah,
week we're gonna have those 2 fillers, and I'm serious, dude. We need to write some questions. Saudi Arabia's nightlife. We need to know if there's
mm,
clubs, if there's bars, nightlife, bro.
yeah,
All of the above. Do they have a Vegas atmosphere, Miguel? Because if they don't, I don't know how many rich people go to sporting events just to watch the sporting event.
and then go straight to the hotel room and go to sleep. And
Yeah,
nothing else, right? Exactly.
yeah.
It's like, all right, great. That's the night. I mean, that's the shit that we do because we're fucking like, whatever. I'm gonna, when I went to Valdez and fucking
Oh yeah,
uh
my wife
Valencia,
might be watching. That's exactly what I used to do, Miguel.
Yes, that's precisely what we did. As soon as it was done, it's like Uber, take me out to my fucking
Uber.
hotel room. I'm going to bed, yo. Like I got pizza waiting for me in my mini fridge in my room. That's all I'm doing.
I used to
Yeah,
run like this out
got
of
the
there.
blinders. Got the blinders. We're just like, oh, hurry up and take me, please. It doesn't matter. And then the Uber driver's like, oh, I can take it. Like, no, 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 sir, no, just take me to my fucking room. I'll call it a day.
I didn't think about that. She might let me go to every fight now.
I know, right? It's like, yeah, you can go to Saudi Arabia. I think I'd shift
Hey,
you
go
to.
fuck. You'll get fucking arrested. Go.
Okay, honey. Uh, but
Hey,
that does.
good selling point, you men. All the men out there, you need to take this show now, next week's show, and go look, babe. There's no nightlife. I just want to go to the fight. Now you might be able to go to those fights because I know a lot of you married men weren't being able to go to Vegas because it's Las Vegas. It's fucking
Precisely.
Sin City.
Yes, it
Like
is very,
seriously,
but
it,
some city.
she showed up every Thursday. I would be out there from Tuesday to Thursday, bro. And on Thursday night, I was picking her up from the airport.
Hey, that's very noble of you. We
Yes.
setting
Oh,
a fantastic example for the media of the future, my friend.
my girl ain't dumb, man. She's like, oh yeah, De La Hoya's fight. Yeah, you think you're gonna be there Saturday night without me? No, I think not.
Yeah, it says here the fight starts at this time. Why do you want to get there so early?
Yeah,
Like, honey, I'm just
Tuesday.
trying to get some interviews, sweetheart. I'm sorry. But that does it for tonight, yo. We will be back next week, which will be our final show of 2024 before New Year's. So we will definitely make sure we will get something to you guys because I don't think there are any fights between now and then, but I'm sure there will be some news between now and then that we will definitely bring to you. And if we got to do a shorter fucking show because there ain't shit to talk about, so be it. But we already got 3 topics to talk about, 2 that we didn't touch today and the culture one. So we can definitely get into details with that. Thank you, as always, for joining us. You enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, have a Merry Christmas. Yes, because we can say it here,
Yeah.
Mr. Turkey Ali. We can say Merry
Yes.
Christmas, and we will wish you a Happy New Year next week. But until then, safe Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Peace. Take care.